Hello, Latin 3. We are now starting the Purple Book, chapter 55. So, in theory, you've gone through all of the introduction. You have read and taken a test on that and things like that. And I strongly recommend you do read it because it talks a little bit about Eutropius and his approach toward writing Latin. And a lot of what we're about to read is Eutropius's take on Latin or on Roman history. And as you can tell by the name, Breviarium, it's very short. It's a survey type thing. It's kind of like what your world history textbook would have done in seventh grade. Or what your current world history book in 10th grade did when it came to everybody who wasn't in Europe. He's also very big on just lifting whole cloth from other authors. It's just easier to copy. They didn't have copyright or plagiarism rules or even like an idea of what an historian is supposed to do. So he's pulling things. So sometimes you'll see the language get very disjointed, and it's clear that he's quoting from somebody. So we're on 55 big A, okay? And as you can see, the glossary is right next to you now, and they give line numbers. And if they don't give line numbers down the right-hand side of the text, go ahead and write them in. That's what I've had to do. Actually, I'll show you on page 9, for instance. Some of you have an edition that has the line numbers. I had to write them in. That's just how it goes. So here we are, 55 big A, page 7 of the Purple Book, okay? During the consulships of Marcus Tullius Cicero and the orator and Gaius Antonius, in the 689th year from the founding of the city, Lucius Sergius Catilina, a man of very noble ancestry, but of very low character or wicked character, formed a conspiracy to destroy his country or his homeland. I'm going to say homeland. I don't like the word country in Roman writings. With some men, distinguished indeed, but reckless. All right. So again, what I like to point out is he came from a noble family, but he's of low character. So the idea of starting a rebellion is anathema to Rome. Okay, they're big on keeping the social order. His comrades, no, not comrades, his allies, no, co-conspirators, were caught and they were strangled in their jail. Catiline himself was defeated in battle by Antonius, the other consul. Okay, so if you go back to the top, you'll see Gaius Antonius, the other consul, and he was killed. Okay, which, by the way, Catiline was he considered going out in a very Roman way. So even though he was a villain that everybody had great respect for. Okay, so in the 693rd year from the founding of the city, Gaius Julius Caesar, who later on ruled as dictator, became consul with Lucius Bibulus. Lucius Bibulus is famous because he was the other consul with Caesar. In fact, there were jokes. Like, I don't know what happened during the consulship of Lucius Bibulus, but I know that during the consulships of Gaius and Julius, so they split his name over two. Gaul and Illyricum were assigned to him, Caesar, along with 10 legions. He, Caesar, was the first to defeat the Helvetii, who are now called the Sequani, in parentheses. That's because he committed genocide and killed almost all of them off. And then, by conquering them, the Gauls, through very serious wars, he marched as far as the English Channel. Moreover, within 9 years, he had brought almost all of Gaul under his rule, or subdued them, I guess, subjected them to his rule, annexed them almost. Almost all of Gaul, which is between the Alps, between the Alps in the south, the Rhone River, the Rhine River, and the ocean, which stretches in circumference 3,200 miles. Soon he made war on the Britons. These are Britons with an O. On the Britons, to whom before him, Caesar, not even the name of the Romans had been known. He defeated them, Caesar did, and after receiving hostages, he, Caesar, made them subject to tribute. In other words, he started taxing them. Moreover, he levied an annual tax on Gaul of 40 million sesterces under the title of tribute. In other words, as a tribute. So it wasn't like you have to pay us for this war. It's this is what you get for being a province. You have to kick back 40 million sesterces every year. And he, Caesar, attacked the Germans across the Rhine and defeated them in very extensive battles. Okay. The only problem I have with Eutropius here with Big A is that he's bouncing all around in time instead of doing it in an orderly fashion. Quite honestly, Caesar defeated the Helvetii first. Then he attacked the Germans across the Rhine. Then he attacked the Germans across the Rhine again. Then he went up to Britain. Then he went up to Britain and demanded hostages of them. Like, those things happened over the course of about 5 years in that order. And unfortunately, Eutropius is kind of bouncing around. Anyway, you should do your best to answer those reading comprehension questions as you go. But I would recommend just keeping the numbering consistent however you do it. Yeah, so that's the end of Big A. I'll be back for Big B in just a second. I'm going to hit the button.